All right, so if you go to Adobe Spark, you're going to see a page that looks like this. It might look a little different. You might have a tall vertical box there, but either way, we're going to continue with Google or we're going to log on with Google. So click that button. That should bring up a page that either has your login information already there, or you may have to type in your login. If you see other people's names, that's okay. If you see your name, go ahead and click on your name. If you don't see your name and email, click use another account and then put in your school email address. That is your, first initial, last name at kaufman-isd.net. Okay, that's your school email. Some of you have the 1 in front of it, or the 2 in front of it, or the 3, the 4, I believe. But mine's already in here, so I'm gonna click on that, and then it's gonna bring me to a page like this. Choose an account for. All right, so once you get your email in there, you should come to this page. And we're going to choose which one, the Enterprise ID. We're going to choose Enterprise ID. That's one we always choose when we are logging into Google. When you click that, you should get a page that, if you've used Adobe before, will show your older projects. If you haven't, it'll be blank at the bottom with a couple little icons. I've used it for other classes, for other projects. And so this is what this page looks like. We are going to create a YouTube post thing for our YouTube page. So what I want to do is I want to hit the plus sign. And when I do that, I want to go to social profile, custom size, social profile, channel art. Then we're going to click next, and it's going to bring up a template. And this template is going to be blank for now. Now, if you'll notice the interface screen over here on the left, we've got templates, text, photos, icons, design assets, backgrounds, logos, libraries. If you look over to the right, you've got colors, animation, background, resize, and design. Here on the template is what it's got open first. You've got a bunch of templates. You could actually just choose one of their templates and change it to fit what you need. But we're not going to do that just yet. We're going to kind of explore creating a new one, all right? So the first thing we want to do is pick a background. So I'm going to click background. And you've got some ideas over here of what you could pick. Could you pick a straight color? You could. If you wanted to pick a color for a background, you just pick over here and pick a color scheme, okay? Or you could go in here and pick these backgrounds here. Let's say if you wanted to go retro, you could pick retro as a background. And then you would resize it to what you wanted. If you wanted to cover the whole page, you can resize it. If you want it to be a small part of the background, if you'll notice, you'll get the little lines when you're centered. You could do that. You want to choose another background, you can add one on top of the other. All right, so I picked a second background, and I want to resize it. So I click the handle and I drag it to the size I want to cover the whole thing. But what did I do to this first one? I covered it up, correct? Well, that's what this little icon called layer order does, is you can actually move it down one and bring in the second one here. And then you could resize it, That's, kind of a poor color scheme, so we'll delete that and get rid of it. Okay, so you know how to work with layers now, and you know how to work with backgrounds. The next thing we want to add is some text. All right, so I'll click the T, and you'll see some templates. Of course, you can use a template. There's some good ones on here. Or you can just add your text. And you type in what you want your YouTube channel art to look like. Now, you may have a name for your channel. You may use your name for your channel. Okay? That's up to you. You've got an idea of what your channel is going to be called. And so this is what I'm using right here. If I want to readjust the size, I move the handles, the link to make it all on one line. I do that. It'll automatically kind of, do it right there. If I want to adjust the font, I click over here. All right. Scroll down, you got a bunch of fonts. And then I can redo the size also over here. If I want to click and drag a corner, I can also resize it with a handle. Once again, it'll give me lines as to when I'm centered. You want to change the color, or you want to add a shape. You know, you can change the color down here. It'll give you a good color scheme. You don't want it to wash out. You want to add a shadow to it? You can add a shadow to it. Or an outline too. So once you're kind of happy with it, with the text there, you're good with that part. You can also bring in a photo or icons, assets, you know, little things. You wanted to bring in some film strip because this is film class. You know, you resize. It's probably going to take up most of the space if I do this. Stuff you can play with. And then I would reorder that, obviously. Move down one. You know. If I go back here and I say, you know what, I don't want this shape, I uncheck it, and I don't have that shape anymore. Okay, so let's say I've got what I want. I may or may not be happy with this, so I rename it. I'll go up here to my post, and I rename it. Whatever I'm going to call this, so I'll know what it is for my YouTube channel art. All right. Once I rename it, it's saved in my post. Okay. I will know that if I come back to Adobe, it will be saved there under my recent projects. Right there it is. So I can go back there and re-edit that. Now, what I want you to do is use this template to create the channel art for the YouTube channel that you're going to create. So you're thinking of, I want to be a YouTuber. What is my channel name? It doesn't have to be your name. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. You know, if it's, you know, you're doing a channel on taco reviews, it can be all about tacos. You're doing a channel on nature videos, you know, it could be Nick's Nature Channel, you know, whatever you're calling that. That's entirely up to you. Remember the videos we've watched, the branding we talked about. You're going to create this for your YouTube channel art.